To a fight that is gaining steam over a rare and often misunderstood condition that affects children in sometimes drastic ways.
The symptoms can cause off behavior, sometimes odd behavior to even mimic dangerous schizophrenic behavior. 3 families from our area shared with me their stories and that fight for recognition. There's a perfect little piece to children playing outside on such a pretty day. But a simple flare-up can change a pretty day into an ugly one and really change things for this family. And also turn things upside down for this family. And also this one. The simple flare-up is anything but that. It can mean days or months of scary uncertainty and a return of this large, mostly hidden medical monster of sorts.
We were actually out of town, and my mom called me at some point through the course of that week and said, I don't want to cause any alarm for you guys, but wanted to let you know that Jillian has developed a head jerk.
Caitlin and Eric Jafrita's daughter, Jillian there, suddenly started to act differently. But more than, oh, she just isn't herself, it was almost like she was someone else.
She started to not recognize who we were. She thought that somebody had taken over us, that we were impersonators, that she had to escape us because we were not her real parents.
And across town, 2 more families with similar stories.
End of November, I get a call from the daycare. Tucker was 4. He just turned 4. And she's like, hey, you need to come pick him up. He threw a chair across the room. And I'm going, he did what? Because that was just very out of character for him.
Whenever it's going on, he's not the same kid. It's crazy how he'll be normal one day and then 2 weeks later, it's like, who is this child? What's going on?
I mean, she got to the point she was yelling at us, cursing us out. She was threatening to harm us, threatening to harm our animals. She was damaging things in our home, and we couldn't discipline her because she literally could not control what she was doing. Emmy, felt the brunt of things, of physical things, and she'd come up, she'd rip Emmy's, hair out of her head, she'd kick her, she'd slap her.
You want to play this game, baby?
The behaviors can be tics, like you see here, the Jafrita family sharing this video with us. It can go from these unusual movements to sudden, aggressive, paranoid behavior.
Maybe sit up, come on.
And for other kids, the symptoms present themselves as something you would see in OCD.
I would always say he's normal, but what's normal? He was always normal, athletic, loves to play outside, but his tics, they're different. They change every single time he has them. It would either be verbal with a word or actions. Right now, he's obsessed with baseball, so he'll have to say baseball 4 times. And the only thing that cures the tics is putting him on antibiotics. And who wants to put their kids on antibiotics that much? I've tried so many natural things to see if it would help.
After talking with various doctors, the families believe their children suffer from something called pediatric autoimmune neuropsychiatric disorder, sometimes associated to strep. You'll remember it as PANDS, or as it's sometimes called, PANDAS. Now, depending on who you talk to, some doctors believe the neuropsychiatric symptoms suddenly develop in some kids when the body attacks healthy brain tissues. And here's something that will stick with you. Almost all of the kids usually have one thing in common.
A few years ago, Colt had got really sick. It was strep multiple times. Well, one of the strep cases, we ended up in the hospital at Our Lady of Late Children's.
All his strep titers were just off the chain, yet he didn't have a strep infection. So we just missed a strep infection at some point, and that's where this all just exploded.
She would not sit on the exam table because that exam table was alive and it was working for her toy that was trying to harm all of us. And our pediatrician walked in, took one look at her, and then pulled up her medical history and said she had mycoplasma pneumonia in April. Mycoplasma can cause PANS. I believe that's what she has.
While many doctors do, not all of them agree that PANS or PANDAS is actually a thing, which means a lot of insurance companies don't cover one of the main treatments.
They shouldn't be denied and denied and denied. I feel like if a physician orders it and says, this is what needs to happen, then it should be done.
It's heartbreaking because you pay all this money for insurance and you can't even get your child the help they need because it's so expensive, and the doctors don't take insurance because in order to treat these kids, insurance won't let them treat them. So hopefully if something is passed.
Almost a dozen states have now passed laws mandating insurance companies cover the special IV treatment for PANS or PANDAS. Caitlin Jafrida is working with State Representative Kelly Hennessy Dickerson here in Louisiana to try and make that the same here.
Through this journey, we've gotten in touch with countless families, not only locally, but across the state and across the country. And I believe the average amount of doctors that kids on this journey go through till they get an accurate diagnosis is 8 to 10. And then once they finally get that diagnosis and they're presented with, here's the option for healing, and this is the cost. And the average family can't afford $10,500 out of pocket.
There's nothing you can do about it but provide the overall protection from herself, and try to provide the environment and get the resources where she can get healed.
There's times he's told me he's hated me. I think the worst, he told me that I wasn't his real dad, I killed his real dad. Things like that. And it'll just come out of nowhere. And then just as quick, he'll go back.
I was amazed that the children themselves asked to be interviewed for this story, wanting to, as they put it, make sure more people know about this, trying to put it into words.
Usually something would trigger it, or I just wake up that way. And I just felt like I couldn't trust anybody. I felt like everybody was evil.
Little Tucker describes the sudden anger and fear that would come over him.
I think my family's not treating me well, and I just want to leave.
Triggering that fight or flight response.
Walk down the road until somebody picks me up.
And so there was just something inside of you that said, I just got to get out of here?
Yes.
The kids tell me they feel much better with treatment. And while they may never find that 100% perfect peace we talked about, at least they found hope to hang on to.
It makes me upset, but it also lets me know that this is helping people who also have it, and will help them get the right things that they need.
Several of the kids in our story have gotten that treatment and are doing much better. Outside of any possible legislation at the upcoming session, the families tell me they just want to make sure that no child gets left behind in all this, maybe suffering from this.